Hi guys, today I'm here with a Shop My Stash video focusing on the products that I used to love. So I'm going to do a full face of old favorites, visit them today, see what they're up to, and see if I still like them now. And this video is sponsored by and in partnership with OB tampons, and you may be like, what's the connection here? Well, first of all, potentially TMI, but I'm gonna tell you anyways. These are the first tampons I ever used. I was an early bloomer, and the fact that they were applicator free was very appealing to me, and that fact today is extra appealing because it means less waste, less plastic ending up in landfills, in the ocean, wherever all that stuff goes. And the industry that I work in, the industry that we both enjoy, is very wasteful. Bulky packaging, new launches all the time. I'm guilty of it, call me a hypocrite, but I do what I can to reduce my waste, and this is a great way to do that. I recycle any packaging that I can, I donate products to women in need that are no good to me, and I do try to, although I'm always interested in new launches, I do try to at least offset the waste that I produce. So that is kind of why I wanted to revisit those old products today, because I know a lot of us have great old things that we used to absolutely love that kind of sit there because they're not new and shiny. I know I am guilty of it for sure. So if you are Canadian, be sure to check the link down below to get your free box of OB tampons. I know they look small, they definitely look small, but they are mighty. They have something called Fluid Lock in there for hours of comfortable and effective wear, and of course you are producing less waste. So let's go ahead and get into the makeup. Okay, so I've brought you in a little bit closer. I'm going to do a little bit of spot concealing. This is the Time Bomb Concealer. As you can see, I've hit pan on this. This is an oldie but a goodie. I absolutely love this for spot concealing, and I have been using it for years. It's super thick, but it has good coverage and doesn't feel or look cakey on the skin. And I'm using this Real Techniques crease brush, which is exactly what I would have used years ago too. I've been using Real Techniques for years. So for foundation, I'm using the CoverGirl 3-in-1 Outlast All Day Stay Fabulous foundation. Oh my god. Oh man. This was probably one of the first foundations I ever used that, because I never really understood that I had oily skin. And when I first started watching YouTube, everybody was using super dewy foundations. NARS Sheer Glow, Neutrogena Healthy Skin, which I bought on eBay because you couldn't buy it in Canada, and I was like, why is this like slipping all over my face? And this was one of the first foundations that I tried that I was like, oh, this actually lasts on my skin. But I haven't used this in so long. I've gone through so many bottles of this, probably like no joke 4 bottles. Like I've never used another foundation as much as I have used this one. Obviously my foundation collection has grown since the beginning of my makeup obsession, but I only wore this. It was in university for sure. It was around when I started my YouTube channel, and I remember doing an Oily Skin Diaries review on it. But it is a great foundation. It's one of the more affordable drugstore foundations. It has a pump. It has a decent shade range. I haven't looked at it in a while. I'm not sure if it comes in the CoverGirl Queen line, but it's a great one. For my under eyes, I'm going to be using the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. This has been around for so long. Everybody talked about this. I have also repurchased this. I have it in 2 different shades here. I used to wear NC35, I think, but I currently have NC42 and NC30 here. So I'm just going to mix them together. And I'm curious to see like how full coverage this is. So I feel like our standards of what's full coverage has really changed, because I don't know if it's that formulas have improved or there's just more options, but there's so much full coverage stuff out there. And I will say the CoverGirl foundation, I like the way it looks on my skin for sure, and I know I like the way it wears, but it definitely is not as golden as the foundations that I go for now. It has, I wouldn't say it has a pink undertone, but it definitely has a little bit more neutral in it, perhaps. But I'll warm it up with my face powder. So I let the concealer set a little bit and then blended it out. I think it looks good, but it's definitely not as full coverage as I'm used to, but I do still like the finish of it. I also did my brows. I used the, of course, Anastasia brow pomade. This is an absolute old-time favorite of mine, and I do really still like it. I don't really use pomades that much anymore. And then I set my brows with the L'Oreal Brow Stylist, which is something I still actively talk about, which I tried to avoid in this video, but when I was revisiting old videos, I realized that this was in like a 2014 or a 2015 favorite, so I thought I would break it out again. Another super throwback OG kind of YouTube product is the Ben Nye banana powder. This I used in one of my first ever Get Ready With Me videos, so I'm going to use this to set my eyes, and I think it was also in my, if I remember correctly, yeah, this was in my November 2012 favorites. So this is an oldie for sure, and I haven't used this in a long time. It actually is quite nice and did brighten up a little bit there. This is another product that I still actively talk about, but it is the MAC Studio Fix Powder Foundation, and I used to only use this to set my face. Now I use it to set my face and as a powder foundation, but I thought I would use this just to build coverage a little bit and to kind of warm up my skin. I'm using it with kind of a fluffier brush, but if you want more coverage, use it with something more dense and you can kind of buff it into the skin more. For bronzer, I'm using the NYX Matte Bronzer, and this is in the shade Dark, and it's really kind of more of a contour shade for me, but I am going to use it as a bronzer today because this is what I used to use all the time before I kind of really noticed the difference between the warmer and cooler shades, and it was the first bronzing product that I used that I was like, oh, this actually works on my skin, because I had a really hard time at first finding bronzers that actually worked for my skin tone that weren't my skin tone. So especially for a drugstore one, especially because it's matte, I still do really like this, but generally I'll reach for this more as a more as a contour than a bronzer. But of course, let me know down below what kind of products are coming to mind as I'm doing this, or are any of these products, did any of these products used to be your favorites? Are they still your favorites? It's so much fun picking through my makeup collection, and let me know as well if you'd like to see more of these. Not necessarily old favorites, but just kind of like Shop My Stash, where I'm just revisiting products that I haven't used in a while. I've brought you in slightly closer to do my eyes, and this is such a love of mine. It is the Lorac Unzipped Gold. Very well loved palette. The first Lorac palette that I got from them was the #1 Pro palette, and it had a gold shade in there, and that was where my love for gold shadows began and blossomed. So that was why I picked this up, and I just absolutely love this. Interestingly enough, there's like no warm browns in here, which is what I'm very much used to now. So we're gonna use this palette. It's so beautiful. These shades are super pigmented and they are quite powdery, so tap off your brush before using them. I don't have major issues with fallout because I do that, and I do find them very blendable. They also have a more rose gold one if that's more your jam, but if you're into kind of gold shades but you're not super into like the warm browns, this is a great option, and you can get a nice neutral look out of it, but you can also really add those pops of gold in there. The same shade on my lower lash line. But yeah, I'd really like to continue doing this Shop My Stash thing, especially for the palettes. I was thinking about doing it just for the palettes, but I find I like full face tutorials over just eye tutorials, and I feel like my eyeshadow skills are not elaborate enough to dedicate an entire video to. So maybe I'll start doing Shop My Stash videos that also focus on the palettes, because I have lots of palettes that I don't reach for anymore that I would love to reach for. Taking that Undressed shade, and you'll see how pigmented it is. It's just the perfect brow bone shade. I like something matte and creamy, but that's not like stark white. I don't like the look of a super highlighted brow bone. A lot of the time, really honestly, I don't even put anything there, but you'll see how pigmented that is, and then I'm just going to blend it out. And it does make the brow look cleaner. It makes the eye look cleaner, but I just don't like too much definition between where the shadow of the crease ends and then the brow bone begins. So on my lid, I'm going to be using this shade, and then kind of towards the inner third of my eye, I'm going to be using this gold here. And I forgot to mention, I'm also wearing a throwback nail color. This is Essie Bikini Sotini. I love pastel blues on the nails, and it was kind of sparked by this. This is my third bottle of Bikini Sotini, which is crazy. Woo! Oh my god, look at that. This is wet, and it's like my eyeshadow primer isn't even sticky anymore. And it's really smooth, because I find like foiled, or not foiled shadows, but super shimmery shadows now are kind of going the way of more foiled, and this is just like a strong, super soft but smooth metallic, and it is so metallic. And I'm just using my fingers, like just dotting it on. This is exactly what I used to do. I like using fingers for eyeshadow, and then I'll go back in with a brush. So I'm taking that Unlimited shade here on the inside, and I really like this bright gold look. It's like, it's pretty bold, but this is what I used to do a lot. This was kind of my signature go-to look for sure. I've been skipping winged liner a lot lately, but I decided to do it again today because I used to never be without winged liner, and I used the Kat Von D tattoo liner, which was a favorite then and still a favorite today, so I had to reach for that. For mascara today, it was a little bit tricky because I had a lot of mascaras that I used to absolutely love. Maybelline the Rocket, Maybelline the Falsies, the Rimmel one, it was called like Sexy something or other, but I didn't have any of those, and I did have this, and I absolutely used to love this. It is the NYC Big Bold Curl Lashes, and this has a gigantic brush on it, so if you don't like big brushes, it's not going to be for you. This is actually my second one. I used up an entire one of these. I got it in the first ever Influencer box that came to Canada. I got it in that. I had a video on it. I used to love it, so we'll see how I feel about it today. I did repurchase it and just hadn't opened it up yet, so let's see, because this is super affordable. NYC, nobody talks about it anymore. They have good matte lipsticks. The like kind of traditional matte lipstick tubes, I have a video on that. I will say that the big brush is a little tricky to work with. I think this formula needs to dry out a little bit. On my lower lashes, I'm gonna put a little bit of Benefit's They're Real. This is like a holiday tube. I used to love this one too, but that other brush is just far too big to go on my lower lash line. For my cheeks, I'm gonna be making some bold moves for sure. I have NARS Exhibit A here. This was one of the first high-end blushes I ever got. I just was like, what's the most unique one? Give me that. And I know it looks crazy. I used to wear really, really bold blushes. I wouldn't necessarily wear them bold on my cheeks, but I just love the bold colors and kind of sharing them out. But I am going to balance it out a little bit with this, even though a lot of people may think this is bold as well. This is the Sleek Makeup Blush in Life's a Peach. So I'm going to start with the Sleek Blush, and I remember when I got this in the mail, I went and picked it up from the post office, and then I went to class, and I remember having these in class, like looking at them in university, and I couldn't wait to get home to try it, and the Sleek blushes are amazing. Super affordable. You can ship them to Canada from their website, or from Ulta, I believe. And they're just perfect. Really nice packaging, not bulky, great colors, really good colors if you have deeper skin as well. So going in slightly with a bit of NARS Exhibit A, and when you think about it, like, you flush and it's a little bit red, it's a little bit pink, so if you go in lightly, it can actually look quite nice and fresh on the cheeks, but go lightly. If you have a deeper skin especially, oh my god, it's an incredible blush. For highlight, this should be no surprise, but I'm going to be using the Balm Mary Luminizer. You may be surprised that I didn't just use the Balm Swiss Dot on my cheeks, but I was like, I've mentioned that so many times. So we're going to be using, oh, jeez. Whoa. That is a lot of highlighter. It's a little more like light champagne than what I normally go for now. Normally I go for something with more gold tones, and I just reached for this brush because it's a little less dense because I know how wet looking this is on the skin, but these highlighters are gorgeous. And I purchased this from Haute Look. I got this and the eyeshadow palette because, again, this was something so huge on YouTube. This could also be like a YouTube made me buy it series, essentially, because I was and still am obviously very heavily influenced by YouTube, and this was a great buy. It's beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and spray my face before I move on to lips. This is the Urban Decay De-Slick Setting Spray. And this obviously isn't my first one. The first one, again, I got on the website Haute Look, and this was before they changed their packaging. I don't know if you remembered, but it was kind of like colorful and tie-dye, and they all looked super different. And then they came out with these ones, I think, or maybe they had a white one out before this. I can't remember. But anyways, this was the first setting spray I ever owned, and I had like the extra large one. It came in like extra large and like regular size or something like that. And that's still a great setting spray. I've never tried the all-nighter. People love the all-nighter one. For lips, even though I'm not going to be doing a nude lip, I'm going to use this lip liner just because. It's Makeup Forever Aqua Lip Liner, the first high-end lip liner I ever purchased. And this is hard to do. I got this in the Give Me More lip set, well, not this exact one, in 2014, and I loved it so much I went out and purchased it. Oh my god, this is bringing me back. I used to just wear the lip liner as a lipstick because it's creamy, it's long wearing. Oh my god, I need to start wearing this as a lipstick again. It looks so good. This formula is incredible. But what we're actually going to be putting on our lips today, let me grab them all. I had so much trouble and still am not sure what I'm going to put on my lips right now. I was digging through my MAC lipstick collection. Let me know if you'd like a MAC lipstick lip swatch video, because I know I would love to do that. But these are all my old favorite lipsticks. Some of these are like so worn down. Morange is another shade. I used to wear this orange lipstick all the time. Like, I remember purchasing each and every one of these. Lady Danger was another favorite of mine, a great red orange. Girl About Town, I remember a girl I know was, we didn't have a MAC in Newfoundland. There still is no MAC in Newfoundland. So when I got to purchase one, or when I bought one online, it was so exciting. And it's still exciting now. Girl About Town, I remember somebody I knew was going somewhere where there was a MAC, and I was like, can you buy me a lipstick? And then this one as well, obviously, Ruby Woo is a classic and super worn down. This is probably one of my most used lipsticks ever. But now I have to choose what I put on my lips. I don't know. I love them all, and I'm so sad that I don't use them anymore, and I'm gonna break them out. I just have this pile of lipsticks in my lap, and I feel such nostalgia when I was looking through all of these. Like, it just warms my heart so much when I think about this, to the point where like I could honestly cry. I'm not even joking. Okay, this is just me reminiscing now. MAC Red, I use this one so much. This was the first MAC lipstick I ever bought. This is the exact one. I'm not throwing out. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, I'm gonna go with Lady Danger. It is a beautiful orangey red. I used to love this. Wow, it's old me, I'm back. Oh man. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed taking this trip down memory lane with me. I know I certainly enjoyed it. Click the link below to claim your free box of OB tampons to begin using only what you need and producing less waste. If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!